You can tell if memory's EDO or regular by smelling it. Before it even came up in chat, Mafunky. We're reading approximately the same speed. Yeah, that's the catch, is that to build 16 meg 30s, you need some big 72s to harvest, and they're also uncommon now. I think the biggest 72 per modules I've got are 32 meg. I wouldn't want to harvest them. In fact, I'm trying to remember how many Lo Wang's got in it. I think Lo Wang's got 6 32s in it, if my memory serves correctly. It's got 192 meg of RAM. I mean, I can sell you some RAM by the gram. 100% can sell you some RAM by the gram. Oh god. Oh god. I got a guy who was trying to remove a 4 meg sim from an LC3 so he could install 8 meg. He complained he was having trouble and it appeared to be soldered in. I asked if he'd released the sim from the clips. Said he had to rip one off. He could get the ends to wiggle, but the middle looked soldered. I then finally grasped. Yeah, he was trying to rip the sim slot out of the board. Ooh. I have got, dangling from my wall, where I can see it, I have got some EDO DIMMs. So I should probably look at those and see if they're worth harvesting, because they potentially will have the modules we are looking for. Compaq used them in a couple of specific systems once upon a time. You remember that horrible old black Presario 2200 series with the Cyrix Media GX in them? They also did a 4200 series, which were real Pentium powered, and they had a 430 TX, it was either 430 VX or TX chipset, it was a Triton. And they had one memory slot, and it was a 168 pin, and it took EDO. Yeah, it was a thing. That one. It's that one. That one looks as though that's exactly the thing. My iometer sees those chips on that Pacom 64 meg module. $10, $12, $13, $14, $15, 16 modules. Maybe. Maybe. I'm going to go on a limb and say these particular modules that we're testing are all happy. So let's move to the next pile. Meg. Hang about. That doesn't sound right at all. One moment, folks. Dirty. Absolutely bonkers and dirty. That's funny. Okay, I just tripped myself up on that one. These modules that I'm currently holding, they've got because they've got a parity chip on 30 pins. They've used a parity chip big enough for a 4 meg module, but the actual RAM modules that are fitted are 1 meg modules. Dirty, dirty, dirty. Heathens. So I guess if you really wanted to build, a couple of 4 meg modules, that would be a good donor because it's got the right, caches straight off the hop. Right, so I'll set them up there out of the way. That actually raises a point. It's me. The ram hasn't gone on fire. Yeah, because the Mac guys actually do make their own Sims quite often, don't they? Why did Apple never use the 060? Is it because they were going to move to PPC anyway and there was no point, or what? Yeah, they were right into using ECs and LCs and stuff. Full cream chips was a bit tuckus. The military and phone systems. If you want an EC060, an old bloody Meridian phone system's where you're going to find one. Yeah, they might frown upon that. Hmm. Yeah, I feel like the Amiga was pretty much the core place 060s got used, where it wasn't an industrial machine or a fucking piece of military equipment. But it still defies belief that in the modern era of people cranking out new accelerators for old machines, that the Mac still misses out and it's stuck at most with an 040, or you're into PPC. Like, the fucking things are pin compatible. Just put a 3.3 volt rig on it and go to town. Yeah, the Nortel Meridian. You could get them in EC or LC out of a Nortel. And for 90% of things you'd use the 064 on an Amiga, and LC is absolutely fine. No code written for the 060 on Mac. And there was no code written for 060 on the Amiga either until people started writing it. But anything an 040 can do, an 060 can do faster. Apple people aren't afraid of coding things, are they? I'm going to go on a limb and say these are probably okay as well. Right, we'll load the RAM that's actually staying in this machine because I really can't think of any reason I'll ever need 16 meg or 32 meg in my shitbox old 386. With no cache. Yeah. Wait, what? Heresy. Otter. Sticky Fujitsu modules. Ugh. Be back in a second. They're only 50 megahertz. Only factory rated 50 megahertz. Doesn't mean that they're only 50 megahertz. Talk to Stephen Leary. Talk to him all about how they're only 50 megahertz. Yeah. There we go. We've got these funny looking Samsung modules. I don't know how big they are. I can't math exactly how big these chips really are. Looking at a free scale to clock the ass out of. I mean, yeah. Though talking to the Amiga nerds, any Rev 5 is more than good enough. Good. Till video games started to, everyone wanted a Pentium for Quake. There was no Quake on the Amiga anyway. There wasn't even Doom on the Amiga at the time. Now we're talking. Funnily enough, Mr. Unix operating system, that's why there's a 387 in it. Because this machine was, well, this motherboard was originally used for CAD work. They weren't cheap. There's no reason it shouldn't still exist. I think it's market share more than anything. When the PC took off, you had lots of competition to the PC still in the market. Like you had the Amigas and Atari STs and Macs that were all using 68,000s. You know, the X68000 was using 68,000s. Nextcube was a 68K, so on and so forth. As all those machines all started vanishing, Motorola's sales of chips would have been going down. Apple ended up being their biggest, like, mainstream consumer-focused manufacturer who was using their stuff, and they were wanting PowerPC, which that's you ended up with IBM, Motorola, all of that jazz being involved, and even then PowerPC PowerPC sort of died off because it was getting hot and heavy, and it was a bit of an ass to code for, from what I've heard. And yeah, as soon as the console manufacturers all went, oh fuck it, we'll go back to x86. Like Microsoft did their one PPC console, and that was that. Which Xbox, Della? The Xbox 360 was PowerPC powered. Yeah, the Motorola hadn't powered any consoles up until that point. Unless you count the CD32 with an ECO20 in it. Oh, well, sorry, I'll take that back. Like, the Mega Drives and shit had 68,000s in them, but they weren't exactly setting the world on fire, and that was multiple generations earlier at that point. Like, by the PS2 era, there was nothing with 68k in it. Oh, what was Dreamcast? It had a bloody weirdo Hitachi CPU, didn't it? Yeah, so Sega were already 2 generations deep and not using Motorola. Nintendo were using... what was the Nintendo chip they were using? It was a fucking SGI-based thing, wasn't it? And the N64. And they hadn't run Motorola's in their gear anyway. So realistically, the 68k was gone out of consoles already at that stage in time. So realistically, yeah, the console war for Motorola, they never really got involved. At least, like the PowerPC never really got involved until the Xbox 360, which had a triple core PowerPC in it, and then the PlayStation 3, I think, was a PowerPC as well, if my memory serves correctly, alongside the Cell engine. Plop plops. Oh yeah, GameCube and the Wii and the Wii U. Yeah, they were all PowerPC. Yes, that's true. I remember when before the Wii came out, there was people debating about what specs it was going to be, and it turns out it was exactly 1.5 times a fucking GameCube. Yeah, they probably would have been able to get a tri-core bloody PPC dirt cheap for the Wii U because everyone else was already using a tri-core PPC. Standard Nintendo, let everyone else spend the money on development. And yeah, power as an architecture still exists. And it sort of is the same thing, just scaled up. Oh, this thing didn't even have matching RAM in it when we started. That's bad. That's bad. We can't have that. That's yuck. I'm going to go on a limb and say these weirdo-looking Samsung modules I found at the bottom of the pile are they're looking alright. Right, so I need to get a mouse on this thing, since the